Good morning, America. This morning, out of control. Deadly wildfires killing 2 people in Northern California. Just one of more than 60 fires in the American West. The massive and swirling flames taking down everything in their path.
This is my father-in-law's home. This is the second time it burnt down.
Some people returning now to nothing.
Bombshell allegations. Les Moonves, the CEO of CBS, accused of sexual misconduct. Several women claiming their careers suffered when they rejected his advances. How Moonves is responding. Plus, we talked to the reporter who broke the story.
Praising the economy, President Trump celebrating success.
We're on track to hit the highest annual average growth rate in over 13 years.
But dealing with new questions about that Trump Tower meeting with the Russians.
Caught on camera, look at this, a terrifying ride. Dramatic new video of an out-of-control bus. What investigators are saying this morning.
And Star Wars surprises. The late Carrie Fisher set to reprise her iconic role. How Princess Leia will return to the Skywalker saga. The other big names also coming back, and the new faces added to the cast.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Paula has the day off. I'm very happy, though, to announce that Diane Macedo and Whit Johnson are on the desk. Good morning to both of you.
Good to be back. Good morning.
It's National Hamburger Day, so we'll be
It's a big deal.
I'm a little bit excited about that.
Yeah?
Especially for the vegan, the resident vegan as well.
There better
I'm
be
gonna
veggie
eat his.
burgers. Yes, this is a good day for Diane. We're going to begin, though, with the breaking news. Those wildfires raging in the American West. There are now more than 60 of them across 13 states. The worst, the so-called car fire. You're seeing it right here. It's tearing through Redding, California, demolishing homes and creating a really dangerous and deadly situation for firefighters.
One battalion chief calls it unprecedented how the fire rolled through the city and says weather conditions are creating a worst-case scenario.
And officials are now urging people in threatened areas to evacuate and not wait until the last minute. We have team coverage from Redding. Let's start with Rob Marciano and those dangerous conditions. Rob, good morning.
Good morning, Whit. Boy, it seems like just last year we wrapped up the fire season here in California, which was nothing short of disastrous, and these scenes are eerily similar, and they're just as startling. Complete neighborhoods and subdivisions here wiped out, homes burned to the ground, 500 structures, most of which were homes, have been destroyed. And when you get up close to cars like this and you see how the metal was torched, the aluminum melted, the windows blown out, you get a sense for the force and the heat that these fires bring. And you can only imagine what a scene it was, a frightening scene it was, the night that these folks had to flee their homes.
The car fire taking over Redding, California. A wall of flames causing emergency evacuations.
Got about a 100-foot wall of flame coming down onto the very south end of Snow Lane.
The blaze taking a deadly turn, killing 2 firefighters.
You know, the struggle now is we're mourning as we battle.
3 more firefighters and several civilians suffering serious burns. That fire exploding, doubling in size in 24 hours. Now over 48,000 acres burned and only 5% contained. At least 500 homes and businesses destroyed, and another 5,000 structures remain threatened. Emergency crews aggressively work to contain the blaze, but violent winds, dry brush, and triple-digit heat add to the already difficult scene. Those erratic, hot winds creating their own weather, like this fire whirl, the size and strength of a tornado. The sky filling with flames, jumping the Sacramento River.
Please, when you're asked to leave, leave. Leave before you're asked to leave.
A hospital having to evacuate its neonatal unit, as well as this shelter after the flames got too close.
We just saw people scrambling all over to get out, and they were yelling to get out. Police, evacuate, evacuate, evacuate.
Fires sparking in Southern California, too. The Cranston fire burning more than 11,000 acres, with more than 1,300 firefighters battling that blaze. This morning, officials saying it was deliberately set.
I would love to be able to tell you that we've got a strong cold front coming through with rain on the way, but that's not the way it works here in California. Not in the middle of summer. The heat is going to continue. We still have excessive heat watches and warnings up, and new ones being posted as the heat will rebuild across the Northwest as we go through the beginning of this week. So there you go. difficult fire conditions, you bet. The heat, the dry, low levels of humidity, below 5% in some cases. And today's high temperatures will be triple digit. Again, Fresno, 22 days in a row of triple digit heat. That is a record, and it is not going to cool off anytime soon. Look at this, into Wednesday. We're looking at the similar conditions. So fatigue for these firefighters is going to be an issue. And a lot of these firefighters that are fighting this blaze have lost their own homes. Kana Whitworth now with more on the heartbreak that this community is having to deal with. Hello, Kana.
Hey, Rob. So I spoke with a CAL FIRE firefighter yesterday. This is his home. This is all that's left. He was out fighting the Ferguson fire when he got the call. He raced through the night to come home and find this. And to give you an idea of how scary this fire is and how hot it was, so this is a bed right here. Can you see that? That's actually glass. It's a window that has just melted over the top of it. And this firefighter, this is his first home. He was remodeling it all himself, and you can see all of this construction and landscaping equipment just utterly destroyed. The tires are burnt off of that. And when I spoke with local authorities, they said because so many firefighters live in this community, we're likely to hear a lot more stories like this. Overnight, the raging car fire in Northern California on a relentless path of destruction. The inferno decimating homes and devastating families.
This is my father-in-law's home. This is the second time it burnt down.
The wildfire nearly doubling in size in just 12 hours, forcing thousands to abandon their homes.
I just evacuated. I have literally everything that I can think of that's valuable and shoved it in my car as fast as possible.
The Red Cross taking in hundreds of displaced residents overnight, bringing the total number of evacuees close to 38,000.
We're walking up on a neighborhood right now. This new fire just sparked up.
It's about losing everything.
Some people risking everything to protect their homes. These men using garden hoses to tackle hot spots popping up near the edge of their neighborhood.
We noticed it was on fire and hit it over there, got that out, and now we're hitting it this side.
Kimberly Pullen and her family just bought a home in this neighborhood ravaged by flames and tornado-like winds.
The house that you just bought yesterday?
We closed yesterday at 4 o'clock.
All smiles after finding their homes still standing. Others not so lucky.
I drove up before my mom and dad, and this is what I saw, their house flat.
People telling ABC News they've lost track of family members amid the confusion of evacuating. This woman's husband leaving the Red Cross Center in search of a hotel room.
His cell phone is dead. I've contacted everybody he knows. Nobody's heard from him. I don't even care about my house right now. I just want to know where my husband is.
Now, she did eventually find her husband. He had to drive an hour and a half away to find a hotel for the family to stay in. And more people could be evacuated because of these erratic and extreme winds and weather conditions. And this has been an extremely scary situation. Firefighters I spoke with who have been on this job for more than 30 years say they have never seen fire behavior like this. And Dan, Diane, and Whit, I mean, when you walk through these neighborhoods, it is just so clear that it's going to take a long time for the people of Redding to rebuild.
And to think that was a firefighter's home behind you as well. Kana, thank you so much. Such a scene of devastation out there in Redding. Meantime, to those bombshell allegations against the head of CBS.
Several women are accusing Les Moonves of sexual misconduct as dozens of employees report a culture of harassment at the network. ABC's Eva Pilgrim joins us now with the details on that. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning. He's one of the most powerful men in media this morning. Les Moonves, the CEO of CBS, is under investigation by his own company for those allegations of sexual misconduct.
He is the man credited with turning around CBS, greenlighting hit shows like Everybody Loves Raymond,
I can't breathe,
CSI, and Survivor. This morning, one of the most powerful men in the media business, Les Moonves, now facing his own scandal. The New Yorker releasing an expose by Ronan Farrow featuring accusations from 6 women that range from inappropriate kissing to sexual assault. In the article, the Emmy-nominated actress and writer Alina Douglas, known for her roles in Goodfellas and 6 Feet Under, tells Farrow, "What happened to me was a sexual assault, and then I was fired for not participating." She recounts an incident in Moonves' office. In a millisecond, he's got one arm over me, pinning me, saying Moonves was violently kissing her, holding her down on the couch with her arms above her head. Producer Christine Peters recounts what she says was her own experience in the article, saying Moonves told before she says he just put a hand up my skirt. The allegations of misconduct come months after Moonves helped found the Commission on Eliminating Sexual Harassment and Advancing Equality in the Workplace, even speaking out back in November at a variety company was changing in the wake of the Me Too movement, just days after firing news anchor Charlie Rose for allegations of sexual misconduct.
I think we've been surprised by things that we've seen. I think it's important that a company's culture will not allow for this. And that's the thing that's far-reaching.
News of the accusations against Moonves sent CBS stock into a free fall, dropping as much as 7% at one point, its worst daily performance in years. In a statement to The New Yorker, Moonves says, "Throughout my time at CBS, we have promoted a culture of respect and opportunity for all employees and have consistently found success elevating women to top executive positions. But I always understood and respected and abided by the principle that no means no, and I have never misused my position to harm or hinder anyone's career." CBS, in a statement to The New Yorker, saying that Moonves acknowledges trying to kiss Douglas, but that he denies any characterization of sexual assault, intimidation, or retaliatory action. As for the Peters accusations, CBS saying that Moonves categorically denies any alleged touching or inappropriate conduct during the meeting. CBS now says they are investigating the allegations.
And CBS telling us overnight that it is very mindful of all workplace issues and takes each report of misconduct very seriously. They go on to say they don't think the picture of the company created in the New Yorker article is representative of the organization as a whole.
It's an incredible story, and there's so much to discuss here. In fact, just a few minutes ago, I sat down with Ronan Farrow, a contributing writer for The New Yorker. He's the one who broke this story. Ronan Farrow, thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Pleasure.
So we heard two stories from alleged victims in Eva Pilgrim's report, but there are several other women you spoke to in The New Yorker. Did you see a commonality among the stories? Did he allegedly have some sort of consistent M.O., Les Moonves?
Look, we're really careful not to draw inferences that are speculative at all, but these are stories, one after another, of varying degrees of severity, up to and including cases in which women say they were pinned down and struggled to escape. These are all stories that happened during business meetings, which I think made it particularly devastating for these working women who expected to be taken seriously. And these are all stories in which women said one after another that they were terrified and intimidated, and that they felt their careers suffered as a result. And one after another, this is the final point I'd make, they also said that they were speaking out because they were afraid there was a broader culture of impunity across this company, which is something we heard from dozens of people.
Well, let me ask you about that, because you do raise questions in the article about the wider CBS culture. The company says, and this is a quote, "We do not believe that the picture of our company created in The New Yorker represents a larger organization that does its best to treat its tens of thousands of employees with dignity and respect." So what did you learn in your reporting?
And that statement is, of course, in the story. CBS had a really ample window to give input into this, as I always make sure is the case with a story of this kind of importance and seriousness. But we did hear from dozens and dozens of current and former employees that they had seen a culture of harassment and retaliation. And that flowed from Mr. Moonves to different facets of this company.
Let me get back to Les Moonves, because I want to read a key part of his statement. He says here, and I'm quoting, "I recognize that there were times decades ago when I may have made some women uncomfortable by making advances. Those were mistakes, and I regret them immensely." So is it possible that he misbehaved, if that's the right word, decades ago, but not recently? Did you find any recent examples?
Yes, so these cases extend through the late 2000s. I'm careful not to talk about cases except the ones that we report on in this article, which have been really carefully vetted and are backed by eyewitness accounts and documentation and other forms of evidence. But, you know, I would say that these women felt that, A, in several cases, these were what they described to be sexual assaults that were very serious, and B, it's certainly not accurate to describe that scope of time as only 20 years ago or more.
Final question. Your reporting on Harvey Weinstein gave a lot of fuel and really helped popularize the Me Too movement. Are there other big cases coming?
I will say that I've been in a fortunate position as a reporter, Dan, to receive a lot of leads from a lot of very brave people who speak out about tough stories that have been buried for a long time. and that I think still need to see the light of day. I think we're in a moment of incredible change, but there's still a long way to go.
So you believe you have more work to do?
I think we all have more work to do.
Ronan Farrow, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
His work has had an enormous impact, and if you want to see his report, it's available online right now, and it will be in the New Yorker issue that is out on Monday. A huge story, and hard to overstate the importance of Les Moonves in Hollywood and the media generally.
Absolutely.
And the importance of these stories continuously coming out.
That's right.
All right, we're going to turn to politics now, and President Trump is touting gains in the economy.
But as he celebrates economic success, he's facing tough questions about what he knew about that 2016 Trump Tower meeting with Russians and when he knew it. ABC's White House correspondent Tara Palmieri is in New Jersey, where the president is spending the weekend at his golf resort. Tara, good morning.
Good morning, Whit. That conveniently timed economic growth is something President Trump will be touting over the next few months before the midterm elections. But at the same time, all of these domestic wins seem to be blunted by the ongoing developments in the Russia probe.
We're on track to hit the highest annual average growth rate in over 13 years.
Overnight, the president celebrating a surge in economic growth.
In the second quarter of this year, the United States economy grew at the amazing rate of 4.1%.
Up from 2.2% last quarter, it's the best quarter of growth since 2014.
As the trade deals come in one by one, we're going to go a lot higher than these numbers.
But economists are less optimistic. While the president engages in a trade war with China, they say the uptick is linked to farmers rushing to export products like soybeans before those tariffs hit. But while touting a win, many in Washington feel he's got bigger problems ahead. Multiple sources telling ABC News that Trump's longtime lawyer and fixer Michael Cohen claims that then-candidate Trump knew in advance of that infamous Trump Tower meeting with the Russians.
Did you know at the time that they had the meeting?
No, I didn't know anything about them.
Donald Trump Jr. has repeatedly said that he never told his dad during the campaign that he, Jared Kushner, and former campaign chairman Paul Manafort met with Russians promising dirt on Hillary Clinton.
It was such a nothing. There was nothing to tell.
President Trump strongly denying the allegation while slamming the man who has represented him for over a decade. Tweeting, "I did not know of the meeting with my son Don Jr. Sounds to me like someone is trying to make up stories in order to get himself out of an unrelated jam." Mueller announced on Friday that he's calling 35 witnesses to testify in the trial against Paul Manafort, including his former business partner, Rick Gates. Now take a look at this. At the same time, here he is boarding a flight just feet away from Donald Trump Jr., a key figure in that same Russia probe. Only in D.C., Dan.
Yeah, I can't imagine they shared a bag of peanuts.
I don't
together.
think so. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. We really appreciate it, Tara. Thank you very much. We're going to switch gears now and check the weather again. Let's get it back to Rob, who, as we know, is in California, where he's been covering those ferocious wildfires, but he's also tracking a new threat for flooding in the east. What's going on, Rob?
Hi, Dan. Well, as you know, across the Northeast, there were some rough storms that moved through. Some flooding across parts of New Jersey, over 5 inches of rain there, over 10,000 people at one point without power in Staten Island. So they were pretty damaging. And also tornadoes across Colorado. We had at least one of 4 there. We had one in Savannah as well. Today, we'll see some rain along this front, more summer storm. 2 days, we'll see some significant rain out of these, and some will bring some severe weather, but 3 to 4 inches in some spots. This is a rainfall that certainly we would dream of here in the fire zone of California. That's not going to happen, but it continues to be wet east of the Rockies. That's a check on the national headlines weather-wise. Time now for a look at your local forecast.
Hey, good morning, Washington. I'm meteorologist Alex. Look at a beautiful start to the weekend. Nothing like we've seen over the past couple of days. No storms in the forecast, a lot of sunshine, lower humidity too. Dew points instead of the 70s will be in the 60s. Temperatures today in the upper 80s by the afternoon. Now, big event at FedEx tonight. Of course, Jay-Z and Beyonce again tonight. 82 at 7 o'clock, back in the upper 70s. Plenty of clear skies as we get through tomorrow. A few added clouds, temperatures in the mid-80s.
Toss it back across the country to my friends in studio. I believe I heard Ron's voice. Good to have you back, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Back in the building.
Yes.
Back with a new haircut.
Yeah, exactly. Dan was admiring the new cut.
The buzz.
Got the ears lowered.
Well, thank you. Thank you all. Good morning to, Adrian, Dan,
Diane and Whit. Good morning, everyone. We're going to begin in Benton Harbor, Michigan, where a fire at a hotel overnight has killed a woman and 5 children. Officials say